guys, Long Haul Larry, and I have not been videoing very much lately. I've been just in the shop working on trucks, doing this and that. Been out here doing some things, and everything is going all good and everything. I just kind of haven't been doing it. Big Blue is gone. The boss took away Big Blue. No longer have Big Blue. He took it away from me. And he has another driver in Big Blue. It's a woman. And did a bunch of work on Big Blue and got a bunch of things that have been kind of needing attention. Got those things all taken care of. And she took off and she did a little short haul, and then she came back and we finished up a few things, and then she took off with a load to Wisconsin. And I think she's picking up a load there coming back this way. I'm not really sure on that. But she is out there running in Big Blue, so if you see Big Blue running on the road, Larry didn't get a sex change. It's a different driver in there. So that's all good. But a lot of you guys been, I know, sending me comments and everything. What's going on? What are you doing now? Where's your next truck and everything? Well, I'm going to tell you, the boss bought me a brand new truck. So I'm thinking, I'll show it to you guys. How about I pull it into the shop here?
Well, there it is, guys. It's a 2008 GMC. Got a little bit of a knock to her, though. Uh-oh, she's gonna die. I don't think she's gonna run much longer. So might as well shut her off. It's telling me warning, there's problems. But I found this, it actually came driving past the shop sounding like this. And this was a neighbor close by. It was one of his work trucks. And basically throwing the bearings, and a connector rod is gone in it now. And if you actually look at it, it's got a little bit of a leak going on. So we got a little bit of a leak. And what's really funny, I just noticed this grabbing the camera. That's part of the block right there. The connector rod just went through the block. You can see more of it over here. Look at all these parts. These are internal, right there. This is a connecting rod. That's funny. But I heard it coming by, and I asked him what he was going to be doing with it, and he said that he is going to just junk it or whatever. I asked him how much he would take for it, and we worked it out. I think we paid $800 was the final deal. I can't even remember. Excuse me. But it's a 2008 GMC Sierra 4-wheel drive. It's got this whole cab thing on it with these boxes. And what I'm doing is I'm going to actually cut these off like here, leave the space up here. Excuse me, I got something stuck in my throat. And the other day I went to Harbor Freight and they had a 20% off thing, and we got this. It's a gas powered generator or air compressor. That's going to be mounted up in the front. I'm going to cut these boxes, cut the cab thing apart to make it all work in there. Maybe put a little crane lift thing on there to lift tires up in. And this is going to become a service truck that we're going to be able to go over to the yard and repair trailers and work on trailers, change tires, do things like that. The boss has been looking for kind of a truck, and we got this one, and I searched around out here, and one of the junkyards, I found an engine for it. I think we paid $600 or $800 for that too. So I'm going to be installing that motor into that truck, and then we'll have an operational service truck here. And the boss says that he's going to wrap the whole thing Long Haul Larry recovery or something. I don't know. I told him, no, that's silly. But this is not my semi. It's just a project that I'm working on for the shop here. We're actually putting together a service truck that we're going to be able to go out and do some work and stuff and have tools and everything, you know. And I'll be putting together a whole tool thing in here and stuff, probably making shelves in here and putting together tools and having an air compressor deal and everything else. So it's gonna be a whole project putting this thing all together. Well guys, we got the motor pulled. I think maybe we could find the problem here. What do you think? There is chunks and pieces. Look at that. You can see right through the engine. I think there's only like 2 connecting rods still attached. I think this thing out of 6 has only got 2 left. I mean, that one's just floating in there. I found pieces and chunks of them. I think the first one and the third one is still attached. Well, that thing is blown up. But she's pulled out, so I'm going to set her on over there on the floor and start getting the other one ready to start installing it. It's just pretty much just attaching all the wires and hoses and doing this and that and yanking her out, and I'll get ready to put the new one in. Well guys, we are ready to install our new motor. You have it hanging over here. I have everything torn off of it that I don't want. I'm not sure about the water pump. I may take that off and put on the old water pump because I don't believe that this has had water in it for a while. And the other one still has water in it. So, you know, the seals on the inside of them, they get worn out. Plus also this idler gear here. It's a little noisy. But this one here, that's not a good one. The other one's a lot smoother. So I'll be changing it, but I can get that done. But what I need to do now, see if I can get this thing. I think I have it at a pretty close angle. I'm not really sure. But we're going to give it a shot. I may have to set her down a few times to get the correct angle to sit down there. I can raise the front of the transmission up and down a little bit. I've never done this with a forklift. I've done it with a cherry picker, and I think it would be a lot easier because you can push it in and you can see what's going on. This here, it's a little harder. But we're going to give it a whirl. I got the engine mounts completely off, so it gives me a little room to work and try to get this position and lined up right. Got the torque converter all set into place right. And now we just got to get it put in there, get the pins. There's 2 pins on the back of the block that will fit into the pinholes on the transmission, and that will line up all the holes. So once I get those pins lined up, that'll slap her together, and then I'll be able to get the motor mounts put in and get the engine sitting in there at least, and a couple bolts in the transmission, and then I can start piecing all this back together. Alright, I got the wire harness ran behind. I have that all attached and everything. And it's just 2 ground wires back behind. And then there's a plug back there too for a sensor. So I got those on there. It's pretty hard to get them on there once the engine is in. I think that I have it pretty lined up. I'll show it to you. It's looking pretty good. The gap is pretty good. It's actually coming together pretty good too. So I think all I'm going to need to do is drive forward. I got it pretty lined up. What I did is I actually used some power steering pump bolts. They're the same size as the bolts that go in there, but they're real long. So I just kind of used those as guide pins and screwed those in there. And then I lowered the transmission jack down a little bit, and I got the seam gap. Alright. I think that I'm going to have enough. Threads here. Ooh, it's close.
Okay. Well, guys, I am having to run a load for the boss's dad. I was working on the pickup, getting the pickup done. And just got the motor, I got it dropped in there, I got bolted up to the transmission and everything. And then I cleaned the shop and everything. The boss's dad has a little medical issue, and he usually runs this load. It picks up over in up by York, Pennsylvania, and this load usually runs to Greenwood, Indiana. And usually runs up there and delivers, and then he picks up another load and he usually brings it back to Costco. It's kind of a regular thing he does. This is a little short deal. It's 560 miles to Indiana, Greenwood. And then it turns around and brings another one back the next day. But he has some medical issues that he's taking care of, and so he's not able to do that. So I am doing it. And I'm going to be using the Black Pony, I guess. So I'm testing out the legs, making sure everything is good. I've driven it around a few times. We did have an issue with it. Let me get going here. Did have an issue with it. It had a misfire on cylinder number 6. Did a lot of investigation on it, a lot of messing around. Actually had another mechanic that works on a lot of Freightliners. He looked at it, and he was thinking that it was an injector. And so the boss bought a new injector, and I installed it, and it still gave me the same problems. And there's a wire harness that's inside the cam housing. It hooks all up to the injectors, up to the Jake, the solenoids, and all that. And it kept reading on the computer that there was a problem with this connection, and that's what the problem was. And I kept saying to the boss, I think it's that wire harness. I think it's that wire harness. He kept arguing. Finally, we called to see if we could get the wire harness, and it was only like $75 for this whole wire harness. That kind of surprised me. But we got that new wire harness and popped it in there. And the boss was messing around with the computer and stuff. And it kept having a shutdown issue. It would only idle for like 15 minutes, and it would come up and check engine lights and shut down. And then me and him sat there just banging our heads together trying to figure it out, going through the computer and everything and the parameters. And I said something about the optimized idle, because it did have a code for an optimized idle issue. And we got the new optimized idle box, hooked that up. That took that code away. But I was like, you sure the optimized idle isn't working or something? And he was looking at it, he's like, no, it's disabled. And we were scrolling through it. And I said, he's like, there is a PTO shutdown timer. Yeah. And it was enabled. And so we
start it up, not a problem. Everything works just like perfect, no codes, everything is good. So I'm gonna run its legs and run to Indianapolis with it. And see what's going on. And there still is a couple tire issues. There's some tires that are kind of worn a little bit, but they could be used to be run out some more. They got some cupping on them, which makes things vibrate a little bit. It's no big deal. There's some plastic stuff in here, like cabinets and stuff that need to be looked at, tightened up and everything, and get rid of a lot of the shaky noises and stuff in here. But I'm telling you right now, I'm climbing this first hill right now, coming out of Frederick, and I'm holding 72 miles an hour. I'm kind of interested to see what it's going to do with the load. The boss's dad has driven this truck a few times, and he just comes back and he says, "Run strong." That's what he says all the time. This thing runs strong. He said he passes everything on the hills. Every truck he passes them, even when he's loaded. I'm still holding 72. I'm gonna tell you, I've never done that big loop. I've never climbed this hill out of Frederick and stayed 72 miles an hour. So that is some serious power. Yes, it is going 72 miles an hour. Yep, I can get over. Everybody always asks me about Big Blue and stuff. Do I pass everybody? Are you not governed and stuff? I actually, most trucks out here on the road are governed at like 68, 69, 70 miles an hour. I hate being governed in with those guys. I understand the whole governing bit and everything of a truck. You know, you're trying to save fuel and everything else. I get all that. I completely understand that. I've been independent. You know, fuel is your biggest, you know, cost. I got a car just like, want to just like drive the shoulder. This car was 2 truck lengths behind me. I put my blinker on to move over for those cars. He punched it. How dare you semi pull out in front of me? It was 2 truck lengths behind me. And he drove almost into the grass, like half off the road. Sometimes people are just dumb. But when I was messing around with the computer, I actually changed it. This truck used to be governed at 70. I actually changed it to 72. I like having that extra 2 miles an hour, because if you don't and you're governed at 69, 70, like the majority of the trucks out here, I hate that, because you get mixed in with these other trucks, and one guy's going a half a mile slower, and then you gotta, you know, you want to try to pass them, and you know, and get open road, and you sit here and I mean, it takes you 5 miles to finally fight past the guy, you know. Where when I got 72, I pretty much can pass anybody out here. Owner operators, you know, independent guys, a lot of guys are not governed. You know, those guys I can, you know, I a lot of times I still pass those guys. Those guys seem to go 70, but you know, they can go faster. Sometimes I'll go up, start passing them, and then they'll take off. You know, the usual stuff, but. But I like having that 72 miles an hour because that gets me past the majority of the trucks out here running. I just hate running in a pack. Because then if somebody does something stupid up ahead of you, guess what? You're all going to be in it, you know? So I kind of like to get out on my own and run my own thing. So I like having that extra 2 miles an hour. Well, guys, welcome to Greenwood, Indiana. And we are empty. Bills are signed. We are all good. This truck has been known that quarter tank is empty. And the bust on it was a fuel sensor sending unit. And we installed a new sending unit. There's nobody in there. No. And I guess I can go this way. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't come in this way. GPS had me coming the other way. But I just while I was getting unloaded there, they came and brought me my paperwork. I'm actually just below a quarter of a tank, and I thought, you know, I should check that. And I installed the new sending unit and everything. And I went and looked at it, and I have just a little tiny bit of fuel in the bottom of this tank. So I have got to get to a truck stop really fast. Well, guys, we made her to the truck stop. I actually done gone made it. IndyTruckWash.com. I'd actually I want to get this reefer washed out, trailer washed out. And I think they're closed. But they got a Denny's over in this one across the road. And I got some extra time, so, because I'm going to get there before they even open. So I think I'm going to run over here and actually sit down and have me a breakfast. And then I'll run down to the next place and get loaded and then head on back to the shop. I got to get back there and get that pickup done going working, you know. Need a service truck. But I don't know if I've really explained it or not, but that's not my truck. It's all a big joke. I will let you guys in on what's going on in a little bit, but that is going to be a service truck for the shop, and we're going to be putting tools all in there and stuff and setting it all up and everything that we can go and work on the trailers. That we're going to be able to go and work on the trailers, have the tools we need, go work on the trailers. So, just trying to get a service truck all put together and stuff. I picked that one up from a neighbor. It was $800. And ended up, I think the replacement motor, I think it was $800. And that's with the deposit too. So, that's not bad, guys. It's not bad for a truck. It's 2008, I want to say it is. And when I get done with it, it'll be fine. It should run good. Hopefully the motor is good. It's got that junkyard guarantee, you know. I don't know if you know what that is or not. But a junkyard guarantee is you buy them and you install them and turn the key and hopefully it runs. If it doesn't, junkyard will take it back. They'll get you a different one. But all the time putting it in and taking it back out, taking it back, that's all on you. That's a junkyard guarantee. That's the way it goes. Junkyards, that's the way it is. So that's what that truck is and stuff. It's not my truck or nothing. I'm just joking around.
But I gotta get back there. I got the motor all set in there and everything. I just gotta start hooking up wires and hoses and putting it all back together. Should be no problem. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night if they watch this here video. And if you're not, well, certainly just try that all over again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.